Hello from New York City, I'm Nadia. This is The Rundown. I love creating roots out of people and places I admire, places I like, people I admire. This week, this year, marks the 50th anniversary of the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. So I'm here in Harlem, outside Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. Did you know there are 900 streets in the US named after him? Pretty impressive and pretty amazing, but he was an impressive man. And I thought I would take you through some of the routes, the locations that are here that make up, it's about a 3.5-4 mile run, so let's go. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard was officially named in 1984, and there is a fantastic exhibition that's currently on at the Museum of the City of New York, which details his history with New York City and the people that he worked with to try and further his advocacy and the work that he was doing around civil rights. Behind me is what used to be Blumstein's department store. It has since closed down, but this place could have held a very different fate for Martin Luther King Jr. Exactly a decade before he was assassinated, he came here to do a book signing. He was here to promote the release of his book, Stride Toward Freedom. It was about the Montgomery bus protest, and it was here where a crazy woman, she was actually just declared to be mentally unstable, she stabbed him in his chest, and he was taken to the Harlem Hospital around the corner. The wound was so severe, it's a miracle that he survived. Had she succeeded in killing him, it would have been 5 years before he gave that monumental speech, I Have a Dream, before the March on Washington happened. It changed the course of history. Apparently, the scar that it left was in the shape of a cross, which Martin Luther King Jr. was believed to have said was apt for a pastor like him. King started making trips to New York, regular trips here, in the 1950s. And what I like about the exhibition that's currently on show is it does give you a better sense of who he worked with, the unsung heroes of the civil rights movement. I mean, New York was an important center of that because this is where he would come to help organize national gatherings. And even before, I think I'm still crying because the weather is still cold. And even before the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom, that work to organize that was, a lot of it was done here, and he would rely on people like Wyatt T. Walker, Harry Belafonte. He'd meet here and have discussions. Riverside Church. A year before he was assassinated, 1967, Martin Luther King Jr. gave a speech here at the Riverside Church rallying against the Vietnam War. It was called Beyond Vietnam. He was helped by a historian and Harlem resident, Vincent Harding, who helped him write it. He outlined all of his reasons why he was against the war in Vietnam, angered a lot of his liberal allies. It caused a lot of division amongst all the groups that he had tried to work together to bring together. Want to buy some books? Always want to buy books.